All right, Kramer. What do you like in the futures market?
You got to start with Trevor Lawrence most interceptions.
Do you? Because it's only 12-1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we missed the boat.
Did we? Like, I feel
my paper ticket is for 25-1 at the circuit.
Yeah, I swore we gave it out
maybe
much
even
higher.
40-1. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, where in my head I have some discussion of us talking like Trevor 30-1 most interception, but at 12-1, I don't think you can bet that anymore.
No, that the paper. Yeah. Oh, wow. I love the CLV I have in that paper ticket. I'll have to take a picture and share it with everyone and brag. But yeah, that's is he? Who's the favorite?
Who's the favorite?
If you're looking at the updated odds.
Updated odds right now. Josh Allen most interceptions 8-1. Jaden Daniels 8-1. Caleb Williams 10-1. Will Levis 10-1. Derek Carr 12-1. Bo Nix 12-1. Baker Mayfield 12-1. Trevor clocking in at 12-1. Yeah, I see the case because he's going to be out there. I mean, if Mac Jones sees the field, you know it's bad times here for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, have you seen any of the Mac Jones highlights?
Are they highlights?
No, they're not highlights.
Okay,
that was a joke.
No.
I mean, honestly, the other angle that as I was digging into this more, that it really makes me believe that either Evan Ingram or Christian Kirk is going to have a tremendous catch here.
Total catches.
So let me ask you, which guy, or maybe I should ask CJ, which guy is it, CJ? Who, if you're betting receptions,
right?
Which, if they please just put receptions in the right place. It's like hidden in rookie leaders. If you had to take the receptions guy for the Jags to lead the league,
yes, that's tough. I mean, Ingram, of course, had the monster year. I think what do you hear? The fourth most catches of anyone last year in the NFL.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was insane.
Pretty crazy. But he barely even did he even crack 1,000 yards. It was all by line of scrimmage.
I don't care about yards though.
No, I know that
963.
But I say that, yeah, which is kind of an odd like number.
Yeah, 114 catches, 963, and there's a bunch of, even though Calvin Ridley, it didn't feel like a great year, he still did have 76 catches for 1,000 yards. So that production's got to go somewhere
for sure. And they had a lot of drops too, but I think they're going to stretch Ingram out a little more. They want him to go downfield more. So I don't know if he's going to have the same amount of catches. I mean, his total is what, 86.5, which is a huge number.
So he was 5 off if you exclude CeeDee Lamb and the outlier 135, he was 5 off of Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra for second.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Well then, so maybe you're bringing it to the, so then what?
I'm a Christian Kirk guy though. He missed 5 games last year. So the offense kind of changed. They were moving around, and Ingram was the only one they could rely on last year.
Sean, Christian Kirk to lead the league in receptions is 65-1.
I like that.
Ooh. No. And now, what was his Christian Kirk's total receptions?
That would be one of the
57, but as CJ said, he missed 5 games. Do you like that, or do you like? What about a little more reasonable? Christian Kirk. I know you hate reasonable bets, but Christian Kirk to lead the AFC South in receiving yards at plus 550. Do we like that one? No,
I don't want. So. If I'm doing a Kirk or an Ingram bet, it's going to be receptions.
All right, I'm down for a long shot.
If you wanted to hop into the receiving yards, I think you would have in the AFC South. You would have to look at one of the rookie or either Gabe Davis or Brian Thomas.
No, I like your Christian Kirk most receptions 75-1. I'll add that to my portfolio here. All right, that feels pretty good.
Yeah. So if I'm playing, so what I was gonna say is that I'm pairing Christian Kirk to have the most receptions with Trevor Lawrence in my most interceptions CLV. That to me feels like a ceiling outcome.
I'll do this
in that Trevor Lawrence is out there a ton. They're slinging the rock. Things are going well. He's a gunslinger, so he's getting some interceptions.
To me, and we haven't talked about this market at all, Ryan. I think it's an interesting
new market alert.
It's an interesting market alert or market to break down, and because I have trouble building a case against some of these AFC South teams, and you and I are both irrationally high on the Tennessee Titans. What if?
Why is it irrational? The slot machine told us.
The slot machine did tell us. It's been speaking to us.
The slot. How's the slot?
I could have used this information before the show started.
Division with the most combined wins.
It's a good market.
Well, now, so obviously everyone you would expect have the most or you would expect with no ties. Now the AFC South, unfortunately, I feel like is known for ties, so that might eat away from their guaranteed division wins. But what do you think the AFC South is most division wins? Or sorry, most wins.
All football,
wins.
Not just AFC.
So 8 divisions.
Okay.
AFC South.
So, I was trying to in my head.
Ryan's trying to do the math.
Doing the calculation.
14-1.
I was just gonna say plus 650.
Are you kidding me? NFC South is the long shot at 16-1. AFC South 14-1 compared to the AFC North. AFC North is plus 225. Now that's because all 4 teams have a high win total. Right. You know, the Steelers are always above 500 last year's stuff. But AFC South, if we're right about the Titans making a jump, that's a fun way to bet. All right, so the AFC South.
The NFC South clearly should be the benchmark. But even if you're comparing it that way, you have like this. I've kind of come to the conclusion that I don't think any of the teams are going to be bad. So I like that angle.
And you don't want to be too good like the AFC North. You beat each other up. That's why you get that 2 plus 220. That's a joke.
And my projections are basically including a safety net of 3-3 in the division. So that I'll join you on that one, Sean.
So CJ, any other futures you like?
Absolutely.
I got you down for over 8.5 wins in the division, but it's chomping at the bit. What else you got?
I got some real good ones for you.
All right.
And I'm sprinkling. I would rather do Trevor Lawrence MVP than I would most interceptions. To be honest. At 40-1.
You think can possibly get that?
I mean,
40-1.
At 40-1, it's not bad for quarterback. Number 1 pick who will be throwing deep. I mean, who had. Like I said, he was injured.
He's got great hair.
For his last 5 games, you put those 18 games together of the second half of 2022 and the first half of 2023. Yeah, an MVP. Even Doug Peterson's 45-1 to coach of the year. He was robbed 2 years ago. Absolutely robbed when I had a ticket on him. Came in 3rd, I believe, whatever. And then, of course, last year he's actually 16-1 to be the first one fired, which isn't too bad either. But
CJ quietly is a Benedict.
But I'm gonna give you my real futures here.
He's got all the
what I like. Now the defense we talked about a little bit. They have an entirely new defensive coaching staff. They got rid of everybody, and they brought in Ryan Nielsen as defensive coordinator, who was in Atlanta last year, but just for the 1 year. And this is what he does. He does press coverage and he does a 4-man rush and he brings pressure. Atlanta went from 23rd in points allowed down to 18th, which is all right, but yards allowed they went from 27 to 11th. But this is where we really took notice here for us. They doubled their production in sacks into 1 year.
Saxonville, it's right there.
Saxonville, right there.
Back.
Atlanta went from 21 to 42. Last year, Jacksonville already had 41 sacks. Their over/under this year is 41.5.
Okay.
So if they stay the same, that's the number. I think that easily goes over. That's a straight prop. Now,
so over 41.5.
Over 41.5 team sacks. I don't like doing individual props because you're kind of tying up your money. You got to fade injuries. Yeah, I think that's just a sucker bet. But I will do.
I will say my combing through the quotes and everything. There have been a lot of talk about simplifying what these pass rushers have to do.
Now, if I'm jumping ahead, feel free to hop in here. But what is Jacksonville to lead the league in sacks?
I didn't. You did not jump ahead. I did not get.
Okay.
Those are your kind of markets.
What is that?
What is that? I got it right here,
Kramer. Because Josh Allen is 9-1 to lead the league in sacks. So if you already have
for sure
Josh Allen,
who had
maybe they get something out of the rookie.
Well, this is what I'm going to get to. What is the total for
50-1?
50-1 is amazing for Saxonville. Toss that in there.
I'm just going to write Saxonville 50-1.
50-1. I gave this out last year. Now, speaking of number 1 overall picks, Trayvon Walker.
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
He had 3.5 his rookie year. Okay. And second year last year.
Quietest rookie year of
very
any
quiet
first round
pick
year. Ever.
He jumped to 10 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Even though
no one talked about it.
No one talked about it, very quietly. Now this year, as you said, the new coordinator Ryan Nielsen, Walker's apparently looked great. He said himself, all I have to do now is put my hand in the dirt. I don't have to think. I can ball. I'm not. They had him dropping back in pass coverage the last couple years. This is absolutely insane. And apparently he looks amazing. Him and Josh Allen only helps him. Yeah. They had 27 sacks combined last year. A lot of it was on Josh Allen. But to win Defensive Player of the Year, coming up in his 3rd year, apparently he's added a bunch of repertoires to his pass rush moves of double swims and all that technique that he's been dominating in a training camp. I love a number 1 overall pick for market value.
You need the pedigree, I think.
Right. And the sack guys usually get these defensive player of the year 100 to 1 for Trayvon Walker.
Couple notes. It's actually Josh Hines Allen now.
I like that.
I like that.
Is that a NIL type deal?
I don't know.
It's got a ketchup thing.
Yeah.
Also worth noting, Sean, we once hung out in the green room of the Win studio with this man. In fact, he was the hand size comparison.
Oh, okay.
To the kid who got drafted by Detroit. Why am I blanking? Hutchinson.
Hutch.
Arik Armsted.
Tiny hands.
Was brought in by this team as a vet. He's also
not practicing right now, but he's getting into.
But go look at every defensive line this dude has been on, even going back to his days in college. They've all been dominant. I think as far as
I love this 50 to 1
leadership role,
Yeah,
though.
that's pretty great.
And again, when you read things like that, it just it makes you wonder, like, what kind of calculus were these idiots trying to coach into these football players? Like, because honestly, some of the same stuff's happening in the Giants. Here's what really happened, Sean. If I'm pulling back the curtain, I realized that there's a lot of similarities between the Jags and the Giants. And so, yeah, no, I think the simplification of what they're asking the pass rushers to do is going to be great. I mean, again, similar parallels, but Kayvon Thibodeau also made that jump to 10 sacks.
Is Tom Coughlin still a consultant down there?
No, he's with the Raiders right now, and Antonio Pierce. They need Coughlin, but yeah. 50 to 1. I think we're gonna. I don't have too many most sacks.
Right.
Yeah.
Props.
No, this is a great market.
This and just so if you want to know, the most of them, like the favorites are all sub 20 to 1. So having a price of 50 to 1 is pretty nice.
Pretty nice. And give yourself.
So I'll join on that.
Yeah, and give yourself a nice secure to play their team total over 41.5. That's it.
I like how you're bringing -110 props. That's very responsible.
You know.
Can I give you a? Can I step in with an angle?
Sure.
All right.
The show is.
Would you argue that C.J. Stroud? I know, even though it was a rookie year, a lot of things went right.
Yeah.
In terms of his production, stats wise, especially, he passed for 4,108 yards. And would you also agree that Trevor Lawrence had a really
I feel like I'm on the stand.
The injury was a problem, and he probably had a pretty suboptimal year in terms of overall yardage.
Yeah, definitely.
He passed for 4,016 yards. So the difference between these two guys was less than 100 yards. That stood out to me because when you go look at the market, Sean, Trevor Lawrence to lead the division in passing yards. I couldn't find a head-to-head market, but if I could find a head-to-head market, I would imagine it will be priced similar, and I'll take Lawrence versus Stroud. And I know we have Will Levis, the ceiling case. I'm going to add in a little Trevor Lawrence at +170.
Okay.
And really, I want a head-to-head matchup versus Stroud. He should not be the dog.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. Bobby Slowick is going to continue to run the ball. I think if anything, that's going to be a bigger part of what this team does with Joe Mixon. You see how rock hard they are for him. So I again, not a Trevor Lawrence stan, but why is he a dog to CJ Stroud in this market?
Yeah, they're going to boomer it, run first, run second, and then let Stroud just do something.
They were one of the Houston was one of the highest teams in that run pass rate. That angers the nerds.
The cook rate, as it's now being called, I'm hearing on the shows.
I think I heard it from the same guy.
Yeah.
CJ, any I'll step in here for my underdog play.
Oh, okay.
Even with that high ankle sprain, Trevor Lawrence still ran for 339. Before that, 291. Before that, 334. He consistently gets you some rushing yards. His lower on underdogs, 299.5. I'm going to fire on the higher. I think Trevor shakes loose every once in a while. He's good for, I don't think he's going to run less. So 299.5 rushing yards. Feels pretty good. I'll take the higher on that. Any underdog stuff you like season long for the Jags?
Did they have a Trayvon Walker sack total?
Let's see.
Because I know he's 8.5 at Bet Online, and I mean, like I said, he went from 3.5 to 10.
No D.
And he's just going to do a jump. All right, I'll take. Oh, that's no problem. How about a Travis Etienne?
Yeah, ETN, we got 7.5
and
rushing
yards.
touchdowns, 925.5 rushing yards.
And he did get 1,000 yards last year, despite having a horrendous offensive line. They averaged 3.5 a carry. They've focused on trying to improve that to help out Trevor Lawrence, and not so he's not sitting like a sitting duck back there. I'll take over 900 yards rushing for Travis Etienne.
CJ on the higher. Travis
I'm sorry,
Etienne
for the lawyers, higher.
I'm higher.
Yeah, Ryan's always higher.
I don't know. I did see some Tank Bigsby love. I was a little worried about that.
For sure.
Kramer, you want to close that out with an underdog play?
Yeah. I was just double checking a number real quick.
Okay.
Why don't you talk?
The vamp?
Just vamp for a second.
All right. Well, we got 32 NFL team previews. Of course, get in on the phrase that pays. Do you remember, CJ, what today's word was?
Shit.
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely, I do.
Give it out again for the folks.
It was drink Ovaltine. No, it was the phrase that pays was game with a question mark.
Game with a question mark. So add that to your list. Shout out to everyone who keeps sending me updated.
It's like 5 words.
Yeah.
Game with the punctuation.
Also
Question
telling
mark.
people to come out to Vegas. That sign up weekend coming out there. And
CJ's going to be out hanging out.
I heard there's an inconsensual hug from Stephanie Smalls, but if you come out, I will be there, and I will get you. And you come up to me and you find us, I will get you in the new edition of Road to 10 Million.
So
Road to 10 million.
You'll make the movie.
Confirmed in Road to 10 million. Confirmed handshake from me.
Yep.
Unconfirmed hug from Steffi Smalls.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's up to Steffi, but
No,
producer Ryan,
No, that's not how that works.
It was
producer Ryan
Yeah.
guaranteed it.
Yeah.
Come by. So we will be setting up
Kissing booth style. You don't have a choice in this.
that's with me. That's the handshake. It's like a glory hole, but my hand's coming through. You don't know who's on the other side.
Yeah, a little tug there. We're gonna be set up. Have a nice little booth to come say hi. We'll be doing a couple shows from there. There's some open bar events. Get signed up for the contest. Have some cocktails with us and Derek. It's gonna be a grand old time. Cannot wait. And Bet Bash as well this week. Hit us up if you're going to be out there. Kramer, take us out with your underdog play.
Trevor Lawrence higher 3.5 rushing touchdowns. He's done it the past 2 years. He was hurt last year. I can't imagine that's going to be a problem for him to get over.
I do. Yeah. I like the yards and the touchdowns. Feels like a fun little play there. All right. Closing it out with the best bets. If we can pull those up on the screen, make sure you subscribe to CJ Sullivan Bottom Line Bombs podcast as well.
Which by the way, he's rushed for 50 first downs in the past 2 seasons. Trevor Lawrence.
And that's with that ankle injury. So CJ,
Who do I got to send a picture to? What is this?
Oh boy.
Jesus.
You're there. You can't see
the mysterious man in the box.
Next time we'll just
at least
put a box.
put a box emoji up there or something. My God.
At CJ Sullivan _ on X. Prediction has him going 10-7. I think I'm. Where am I at?
I
With
like that.
Jacksonville. I'm at 8-9. I could see 7-10, but I'll go 8-9. And then Kramer 9-8, just over. So we got right about the win total. But CJ has the over case. Also, Saxonville, baby.
That's a good looking menu I got there.
Jacksonville to have the most sacks, 50-1. Love that. Trayvon Walker, Defensive Player of the Year. CJ's on that. The over sacks, the division. And there the box as mentioned. Nice work by producer Josh.
That's
there.
a ring box for crying out loud.
AFC South most wins. Now, not 100% of Jacksonville bet, but I like that market. I think if Tennessee can pull their weight, look out. And Christian Kirk most receptions. Kramer tied me to that one.
I like that play
as well.